Welcome to Experts of Influence. My name is DeVore Richter, and I'm joined by Kenny Harper. We are co-founders of Rock My Image, and we are here to present to you Experts of Influence, which is a local Jacksonville chapter, the official Jacksonville chapter of GKIC. And if you're not familiar with what GKIC is, Kenny, since you are the local chapter organizer, I'm going to let you introduce GKIC. Welcome, Kenny. Why do I keep saying that?
Oh my goodness.
I know.
All right, Jan. GKIC is really about direct marketing, about being able to put content out there. Now, if you're like me, you may have some background in marketing. Now, I've been really tuned into the marketing world for some time. I've been a member of the American Marketing Association for 10 years. I've been to many different events, conferences, and seen a lot of different trainings. But one thing I've seen is a lot of people like to talk, a lot of people like to do a lot of different activities that don't produce results. And GKIC chops that away. It's results focused. You may have heard content is king. It's really not. Results really crush content. Content is a tool, it's a resource, but if it's not getting the results, and a lot of times it doesn't, then it's not serving you. So a lot of people are focused in the wrong area because they're looking at what everyone else is doing and just trying to fall in line. Only problem is most people don't know what they're doing. So in today's training, we're going to talk about some key concepts of GKIC's flagship approach. This has been around for 25 years, and they've just refreshed it to go with modern technology and modern times. But it's magnetic marketing. And when you attend today's session, we're going to go over some key concepts that you can use to differentiate yourself, get yourself noticed, and start getting better results from any marketing effort that you take, whether it's social media, whether it's networking, whatever it is you're doing, you got to be implementing these actions.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Kenny, for setting the stage. And so we'll just jump right into it without wasting any more time. So I'm going to shut off my camera and I'm going to turn on the presentation. Bear with me. At the end of the program today, Kenny and I will jump back on live on camera, and we'll be able to talk you through the wrap up. So just bear with me while I switch over and turn off my webcam and turning screen share on. And here we go. Can you see my slides?
I can see a zoomed out version. There's your slides.
Hold on.
All right, there we go. Coming.
All right, yay. It's coming through a little tech lag. All right, so as we mentioned, what we're presenting today is the Experts of Influence. Experts of Influence is the local Jacksonville GKIC chapter. We are the official GKIC chapter led by Kenny Harper, who is a certified magnetic marketing advisor and the chapter leader. And I'm here as a supporter and a business partner of Kenny's and as a member of Experts of Influence and GKIC as well. So we've got really powerful information for you that a lot of magnetic marketing personalities are using to rise to the top of their industry. You see these concepts. If you are paying attention to small business marketing, you see these concepts being copied and used by authorities at all different industries, at all different levels of success. But wherever these people are on their journey, it all comes back down to one root. And the root of this tree, all these branches of success, come down to a man named Dan Kennedy. And Dan Kennedy, they actually call him like the godfather of marketing. Super brilliant creator of results-based renegade marketing approaches that are proven to work. If you're tuned in to anything related to online marketing, you might recognize Russell Brunson here, who is the founder of ClickFunnels. He's the author of .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. We've also been instructed through GKIC by Laurel Langmeyer, who is involved in The Secret and is known as the Millionaire Maker. And Dustin Matthews, who's actually one of our very personal mentors. We're in his program, and he is one of the founders of Speaking Empire, along with Dave Van Hoos. So the people that you see that are on the main stages at national conferences are writing books and being seen as thought leaders in their industries and creating products that are really there to revolutionize the small business and business world and helping entrepreneurs achieve their goals. This is the concept created by Dan and shared through GKIC to impact millions and millions and millions of lives across the planet. So how did you, Kenny, get introduced to the GKIC concept? If someone wasn't joining us on the live broadcast, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but would you mind just sharing a little bit more information about your relationship with GKIC and the people that I have mentioned here?
Well, as you know, when Rock My Image, the business that we founded, came together, it was me, you, and our third business partner, Manny Torres. And we had this bold vision of creating an agency where we can help professionals really achieve their bold vision by creating a solid brand, by attracting new clients, by doing things against the grain. And what we found out after a little bit of time is that we were looking to grow this business, but we were following what everyone else was doing. We were following the other local marketers. And what did we ended up attracting? It was the local marketers. I was like, man, that's not what we set out to achieve. That we wanted this bold vision. And so we stumbled across GKIC, and here we find people are actually doing the things that we were wanting to do because they have a key concept. They're building their business around their lifestyle. And I think that's a really important part. These people who are in this group, this inner circle, really identified the lifestyle they want to live and are using a renegade approach to building and attracting business opportunities so that they can live the lifestyle that they want to live. And so when we've kind of tapped into that market, we said, man, this is our community. This is how we should do business. And we started to connect with people in that space, really implement the strategies that they shared. And it's been a game changer for our business. And we started taking those strategies and using them for our clients. And it's been a game changer for the people that we serve as well. So if you're trying to elevate your personal brand, you need to elevate your circle of influence. And so this community has become our new circle of influence. And that's why we're so excited and inspired to bring GKIC to our community as well. Yes. Cool. All right. So Dan actually has a quote that we use quite a lot. It really sticks with us because not just because we're Rock My Image and what we focus on is brand building, but because it really does work. And his quote is, if you aren't deliberately, systematically, methodically, or rapidly and dramatically establishing yourself as a celebrity, ... you're asleep at the wheel. So Dan he's a no holds barred, tell it like it is type of person. If you've ever seen him speak or if you've watched any of his videos, I really like that about him. And he just gives it to you straight. The goal of your marketing should be to constantly elevate your image and separate yourself from the pack, do things different from your competition, really take a renegade approach. So just setting the stage there. One of the items, I'm going to hide this little button here. One of the tools that Dan and the GKIC team gives people that maybe are not familiar with GKIC and the concept of magnetic marketing, he gives a free test drive to understand the concept of how to build your business around your life and not your life around your business. He calls it the Lifestyle Liberation Kit. And Kenny, could you please tell our listeners how they would be able to test drive a free Lifestyle Liberation Kit for themselves? Excellent. Yes. So as Jen mentioned, this is a kit. And number one, taking a step back. Why is it important? Because a lot of business owners will get busy trying to build a business and they'll work really hard and then they'll find themselves really busy. And if they're not living the lifestyle they want to live, at some point, they're going to be burnt out. At some point, that's when things do not work out and people end up giving up or quitting and they don't get the results that they ultimately set out to achieve in the first place. We set out to be entrepreneurs or business owners so we can have more freedom in our lives, so we can make a bigger impact, so we can have more fulfillment and help others, serve. But if we don't take the time to actually think about this and do this correctly, then we can spend a lot of time being busy just for the sake of being busy. So that's really important why this is such a great thing to consider. And if you haven't taken this time to really step back and ask yourself, am I living the life that I want to live? Am I following my passion? Am I using my gifts? Am I serving a higher purpose? So think about that for a moment. And at the end of this presentation, we're going to give you an opportunity to get a free test drive of the Lifestyle Liberation Kit. We do have a website, expertsofinfluence.com. If you go to expertsofinfluence.com/GKIC, you can sign up for more information about how you can get your free Lifestyle Liberation.
Right. All right. So Kenny, our goal is to amplify your business. Whenever we're working with clients or customers or our community, we actually believe that this is our goal so much that we actually named the title of our book, Amplify Your Business. And so our goal is to provide the systems and the tools and the experiences that you need as a member of our community to not just build your business, but really to build the life that you dream of. And so what we're going to be diving into right now is magnetic marketing key insights. And these are the most important principles. Values and service are not enough. You can still starve, even if, and until you have an affordable, efficient, dependable means of attracting a sufficient flow of qualified buyers, you cannot get rich. So a lot of people just focus on the products and services that they deliver, and they don't focus on creating a system that they can easily turn on and off and replicate to create a sufficient flow of qualified buyers. It's basically like a water fountain that you can control of qualified people that are dying to do business with you, not people that you have to convince and hard sell, but people that are wanting to do business with you because they know what transformation you can provide to them. So until you have that system worked through, you are not going to be able to achieve your business goals. So there are certain types of marketing. There are different types of marketing that a lot of bigger brands use. I actually come from corporate America and used to run national advertising campaigns. And I saw the big brands that I was working with using things like, television ads and radio ads just to get brand awareness for their companies. And you see this like with the Goodyear blimp. They spend all of these millions of dollars on taking this blimp and driving it across baseball stadiums and football stadiums and golf tournaments and all that stuff with this hope that the audience members will see this Goodyear blimp and run home and want to buy a tire. Like the odds of that happening are so slim. And just think of all the millions of dollars that companies are spending on this general brand awareness type of marketing. And so what magnetic marketing and GKIC principles and Rock My Image as an agency is about is the opposite of that. We're about getting results-oriented marketing, systems in place and outcomes that you can measure so that you know what is working in your marketing and what is not. Kenny, are you still there? I think we've lost Kenny.
Hello, I'm back now.
Oh, okay. I thought we lost you for a second. You good?
Did get lost for a moment, but I was once lost, but now I'm found. I've seen the light. Hallelujah.
Amen. Anything you want to add to what I was just talking about general brand type marketing and the difference between the GKIC train of thought being magnetic marketing and results-based, or do you think I covered it?
I think you've covered it nicely.
Okay, very good. All right, just making sure. Okay, so there are basically three main elements that go into the magnetic marketing system: message, market, and media. And Kenny, I'll let you take it from here. Just kind of give us a brief overview of these three concepts.
All right, so 3 pillars, and if you're familiar with marketing, you're going to say, okay, this is kind of obvious. But here's the thing. Although these pillars can be obvious to some, the chances are that you're implementing them to the greatest degree possible are pretty slim. Most people they have some cracks in each of these buckets, right? And if you have cracks in each bucket, you're going to be losing a lot of opportunities. It's not that there aren't opportunities. It's not that there isn't business around. It's that you have holes in your system. So the 3 pillars are message, number 1. You need to have a compelling message. In today's presentation, we're going to be going over how to differentiate yourself so that your message is not seen as a commodity. It can be noticed and it demands attention. If you can't put a compelling message out there, you're going to be very troubled to try to market something. Message is so important. Number 2, the market. You can't put the message out to anybody. You've got to put it out to the right people. Messages need to be crafted. They need to be customized. And so it's really important to know who your ideal customer is. If you cannot clearly identify who they are, where they live, how much money they make, what interests they have, then you are going to be missing a great opportunity to get amazing marketing results. So you've got to be able to clearly identify your market, the demographic, the psychographics. And once you can get laser focused on who you're getting your message to, and you can communicate to their pains or the desires that they have, that's how you can start getting better results. And last but not least, the media. The actual way that you're going to get your message out there. Now, right now, social media has been getting a lot of hype for the past couple of years. And people are looking at all the different social media tools that they can use. But that's not always going to be the best decision. The best approach is to have a combination of marketing efforts. And depending on who your market is, their demographics, the media can change. So this all comes back to really going through each of these pillars and following the system to make sure that you've got everything addressed really tight, buttoned up. You're playing every ace. When you have the right message, going to the right market, in the right different media outlets, now you are setting the stage for success.
All right. So what we're going to be talking about is how to create one's USP, which is your unique selling proposition. So if you're wondering, how do I get a competitive edge? How do I stand out amongst this sea of competition in my industry? How do I get my message out? How do I communicate it in a way that is meaningful to my customers, clients, or patients? It's basically through the crafting of your USP. And Domino's is up here on the screen because they built their entire business basically around having a successfully crafted USP. Kenny, do you remember what Domino's USP was or still is?
Is 30 minutes or less, hot, fresh, 30 minutes or less?
Yeah. So basically what they did was they realized that there was a gap in the market that, you know, you could get in your car, pack up your family, drive down to the local pizza store and get a fresh hot pizza, right? But what was missing in the marketplace at that time was getting a fresh hot pizza delivered to your door. And if you did get one delivered, by the time it showed up from the local pizza store, it would be maybe not so fresh, maybe not so hot. Maybe the cheese is a little, you know, warm and starting to get really greasy and the crust is starting to get soggy. So Domino's realized that if they got into not just the pizza business, but into the real estate business and purchased stores that weren't restaurants, they were just pizza making shops, that they could fulfill a need in the market. They could fill a gap that their competition hadn't thought of. And that was taking this fresh, hot, local pizzeria concept to the customers and putting it on their door or in their hands in 30 minutes or less. So that's what Domino's did. That's truly, truly different compared to their competitors. And if you want to build your business on a unique selling proposition, then that's the number one question that you need to ask. What is it that you do that's truly different compared to your competitors?
You know,
right. And then go ahead.
I was going to say, Jen, few years back when I was just beginning, actually it's around a decade ago now, when I was just beginning as an entrepreneur, someone asked me, what do you do differently? And my response was really lame. It was like, well, I offer good customer service, and there's only one me that can do business, and I really know how to do my industries, and I really provide a good result. And that's a comment. That's not a specific differentiator. So if you're out there and you're thinking you're going to answer that number one question with customer service, that's not a differentiator. That is not something that your competition is not going to say, oh, we give poor customer service. You should definitely choose someone that has good customer service. So it really needs to be different. That's an important part. Something that stands out is different. So just want to put that out there, because a lot of people answer these questions incorrectly, and then it's not going to help them out if you do that. So make sure that someone else cannot give the same answer.
Right. So, and we're all in the customer service business, right? So no matter what you do, your business is basically, you're in the business of marketing and you're in the business of customer service. We serve. And so that's what you do, but how you do it is what's different. So do you have a proven approach? Do you have a systemized approach? Do you have a way of doing it that no one else does? So, and then, okay, so let's move on to number 2. How do you uniquely benefit your target market? What is the benefit that Domino's customers gets? Well, it's that they don't have to pack up their car with their family and drive across town to get a fresh hot pizza. They can sit in the comfort of their own home, easily make a phone call, or now use their mobile apps or the website to order a pizza, and it is delivered to them. So that gives them more family time. It gives them less stress now that people are, usually 2 families working in the home, and it's just, kids have soccer and band practice and football practice and little league or gymnastics and cheerleading, piano lessons, all these things. So really that benefit isn't just in the pizza that Domino's delivers to you. It's in, giving you more time to be with your family or to reduce stress in your life. So you'll need to answer number 2 in your own way for your own business. How do you uniquely benefit your target market in a way that matters and in a way that's greater than your product or service? Anything to add to that, Kenny?
I'm just going to say that, the woman who's sitting down, I don't know if she's at a Starbucks, but Starbucks would be a good example of someone, a company that came out, they're serving coffee. And coffee you can get pretty cheaply. You can make it really cheap. But Starbucks charges a decent amount for 1 cup of coffee. And they did that because they created an environment that people could come in and they could network and they could relax, and they created an experience that was beneficial to their target market. The target market can get coffee anywhere, but the experience that they had, being welcomed by someone that may know their order, being able to sit down, use Wi-Fi, relax for a little bit, take off a load, that was a way that they benefited their target market. They knew that the people were on the go, and that's just, a way that they made something different. And by making it different, they were able to dominate in their industry.
Yeah, Starbucks USP is creating community 1 cup of coffee at a time. So they're, yes, it's a fast experience in there. You can come in, you can get a cup of coffee, you can take it in a to-go cup, but they're also really concerned about, creating community. That's why there are nice leather plush chairs for you to relax in. There's music playing, and they allow you to, sit at their tables and work on your business if you want without kicking you out. I'm always amazed at how they allow people to do that. But, so that's what they're selling. They're selling an experience, not just really a cup of coffee. And they've created a brand around it that makes it basically irresistible. So, all right, so let's move through to number 3. Can you niche your target market in a way that nobody else can or will? And I think this is really important for those of us that are in service-based industries where we're trading time for money. So as a marketing consultant, one of the problems that I used to have in my business before I changed the model was that the only way that I got paid was by trading my time for money, sitting down one-on-one and doing a consultation. And just like a physician, if you're a general practice, family practice doctor, you can make a great living. But if you think about it, the people that specialize in medicine, a cardiologist or an endocrinologist or, obstetrics, whatever that specialty is, those are the people that have really figured out a way how to hone in on a niche, and subsequently their income goes up because they're getting paid for, being perceived as better qualified or more qualified in this one specific niche. Yes, they've got more training and credentials and things behind them, but it's the same principles can be applied to those of us in non-medical service-based industries, where if you can really niche into your target market in a way that nobody else can or will, you too can also move to the top of your industry. So Kenny, why don't you go ahead and share the story about the law firm that we have on the screen here and how this attorney has leveraged these magnetic marketing principles.
Oh, let's do one better. Let's share a client story.
Oh, okay. So we have an attorney as a client. His name is Steve Wittrell, and he was similar to the team here that you see on the screen in that he was a nursing home and elder abuse attorney, but he also had all these other services that he would provide, legal services that he would provide. And even though he knew that he was an expert in nursing home abuse, he wasn't marketing himself as the Jacksonville's nursing home abuse expert. And so what we did when he came to us, we took these personal branding and magnetic marketing principles and we applied them to his brand, rebranded him and repositioned him as Jacksonville's go-to expert, the nursing home abuse expert, and results have been astronomical for him. His phone is ringing off the hook now with referrals from other attorneys because they know that he's the go-to person to come to when they have an elder abuse case. And he's even told me that he's had people walk up into his office now, which is appointment only, and he's never had that happen before, just from the new media exposure that he's been able to receive and his new marketing campaign. It's really positioned him in everyone's mind as the go-to expert. And one other thing I want to say about that is a lot of people in business feel afraid to pick a lane. They feel like, well, if I say that I specialize in this one thing, or that I'm an expert in this one thing, then I'm going to lose out on business in these other categories. And, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes the more specialized you are, the more, like a cardiologist, he just deals with hearts. He doesn't do brain surgery. So that's okay. It's not that he's missing out on brain surgery patients, but he's going to get, more. He'll have patients fly from across the globe to work with him because they know that he is the heart specialist. So I just wanted to point that out. Don't be afraid to take a niche or pick a lane. It doesn't mean that you're going to be losing out on other business opportunities. It will actually strengthen the business that you have because your message will be clear and your market will be identified.
Excellent.
Cool. All right. So now we're going to be talking about the opportunity gap. And basically this is what void in the marketplace can you fulfill? So Kenny, go ahead and talk to this slide with the restaurant logos that we see here.
All right. So the opportunity gap, again, as we're going through these, we want you to think about these for yourself and really answer these questions. This is going to be helping you to determine your message, a compelling message that differentiates. If you do not differentiate, you're going to blend in with everyone else. So what you see with an opportunity gap. Now, on the left-hand screen, we see McDonald's. There's plenty of fast food restaurants all around. And when Panera came out, they were filling an opportunity gap. On the right-hand side of the screen, we see the Chili's, the Applebee's, the Olive Garden, and they had the, restaurants where you can come in, get served by a server, and go through that sort of experience. Decent lunch prices, but for the business professional that didn't want a server and didn't want to eat fast food, there was really not a great option a few years back. And Panera realized the opportunity gap. They said, we want to provide good food. It's not fast food, but we also want to eliminate, needing to have a server, needing to tip, the extra time that's involved with that process. where people could just show up and get their food fast, and it's good quality food. So there was an opportunity. They filled the gap. And did it work out for Panera?
Yes.
Yes, definitely did. It worked out for Panera. So occasionally we can see that there's an opportunity gap. If we're not working in a gap, it can be helpful to take some time, take a step back, and really look to see if there is a gap available, or even create something that's new that would give you, again, a way to differentiate. There's an attorney, it's kind of a differentiation thing, but it's an example around here locally that he markets himself, he's a divorce attorney, but he markets himself only for men. So he's men only. There were other attorneys out there that would definitely help men in the law space, but by identifying that he was going to be for men only, he was able to differentiate. So that wasn't exactly an opportunity gap, but he did take the opportunity to differentiate, and people know him, men know him, and now he's the go-to guy for when men hear anything about divorce. He's the go-to guy, and I'm not going to name his name. I'm not looking to promote him in this particular training. So, but I'm sure you might have other people who've done something like that, have decided to pick a lane, and then now you may know them for being a specialist of that particular lane that they picked.
Yeah. So, we're talking about the previous slide where you're picking a specialty and you're claiming your stage as the go-to expert in that specialty, and then matching it with finding an opportunity, a need in the market that you could fill as the specialist there. Barbara Corcoran, who's one of my personal business heroes, tweeted out yesterday. She said, if there is not a community that is creating demand for your product or service, create the illusion that there is. So sometimes people don't even know what they want. They didn't know that they needed Panera until Panera said, guess what you need? You need this. You need a place to come and get a healthy meal in a fast food, experience, but in a restaurant type environment. So, create it. If it's not there already, create it. All right. So the fifth point, can you add personality in a way that nobody else can? So what are you doing to become known as the go-to expert in your industry? A lot of people say, well, Jen, I'm already a rock star professional. I already am an expert in my industry. I have the credentials, the experience. I have all the awards and the background and all that stuff. But if nobody, my question to them is, but if nobody knows that you are those things, are you really that? So one of the key things that you can do to step into that spotlight, claim your stage, is to add personality to what you do and in a way that nobody else can. Kenny, would you like to expand upon the example here?
Yeah, the example we have, the famous magicians who have been in business for quite some time. They have a fun little gimmick where one of them is silent throughout the routine. It is a differentiator. They've made some personality, and by doing something different, getting some attention, that is a way to build and grow your business. So whether you're in an industry, you provide a service, or you sell a product, when you put personality into what you do, you have a pulse, you're going to attract an audience. It's just like a performer on a stage. If a music performer, an actual rock star, a professional rock star, right, goes on a stage and they're like, hey, I'm going to play you some songs. Here are some songs, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like everyone else. Do they typically blow up? No. They don't get attention. It's when they come out, they have some personality, an attractive personality. They do something that's different that people can resonate with, that an audience starts forming. It's the same thing in the business world. Attractive personalities will attract audiences and will be memorable. You got to have something that's memorable. You don't have to be crazy. You don't have to wear leather and spikes or dye your hair, but you do need to show your personality. Look at Martha Stewart as an example of someone who added personality. Now, she is definitely not trying to put leathers. Maybe she does in her spare time. I don't know. Right? But she she has her own personality, and you know the type of personality that she has. She's a homemaker. She's artsy. She's crafty, and she's very soft in her approach. So she has a personality. She puts it out there, and she attracts people that like that personality.
Yeah, but she's also known as a shark in business. Like she's really savvy and sharp, intellectual businesswoman. So it's kind of like, I think as a follower of hers for some years, it's sort of like the dichotomy between being this sharp shark of a businesswoman with this, homemaker personality and lifestyle brand that she markets. It's like, to me, that's kind of fascinating because I study her from the business side too. And so for me, I'm always like, she's this, but she's that. Is she this or is she that? And it just keeps my interest up.
Well, that's the thing. She is a really savvy business person. So,
right.
But the persona that she puts out, the personality she puts out to attract her audience is not the shark.
Yeah, it's like sweaters and pearls,
Sweaters and pearls.
Cardigans and pearls.
Like, I'm just so nice, and it's just going to be wonderful. But she definitely has personality. If she just did everything very plain Jane, she wouldn't have got the attention.
Right. And, I think the thing that I would want to add here as a producer of personalities and a producer of brands is that one of the best ways to ensure that you're adding personality into your marketing is by telling your story. So one of the very first things that should resonate with people is that they feel like they know you. I actually went to, Kenny, it was when we had the Experts of Influence Jacksonville chapter meeting last month. I walked in the room and one of our new members said to me, Jen, it's so great to meet you. I feel like I know you already, because she had been reading my blog posts and following my social media. She knew what my story was, right? And so she is already connected to me. So that's the goal, is to use your marketing as a way to connect with people and let them into your life a little bit. Not that you got to tell everyone all your dirty, family secrets and all that, but give them at least enough information to know about what journey you've been on, what transformation you've been able to take. Show a little bit of vulnerability there, not just talk about all your successes, but show a little bit of vulnerability and, just really let people in. And that's a simple way of adding personality that doesn't require you to dye your hair pink or wear a black leather jacket, just as a tip. Pro tip.
Right. So if you're a business coach, or if you're a realtor, or, the attorney, or maybe you're in the health and wellness industry and you're going to have clients coming to you, they're wanting to do business. Now, having the accolades is one thing, but people tend to do business with people that they know, like, and trust.
Right.
So personality is a way to attract them, get them to understand who you are, what you're about, the purpose you serve. So think about that. Make sure that you're enhancing the personality you already have. Make sure it's being included in your marketing message.
All right. So next we're going to talk about guarantees, and can you offer a superior guarantee? And a lot of people that are in service-based businesses like ours, well, now we have products too, but started out in service, they find this really difficult. Why do you think, Kenny, that people that work in service-based businesses find it hard to guarantee their work or guarantee the outcome?
Because in a lot of situations, it's hard to make 100% guarantee. There are a lot of different factors for something that could change the equation. You could say, hey, we're going to get this construction project done in 24 hours. And you get in there and realize, hey, it's not what it appeared to be. There's no way we're going to be able to do it in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So making that guarantee would be really hard to keep.
Yeah, but one of the things that I try to encourage people that are service-based professionals is that you can guarantee a process, right? So if you have a way that you do things and all of those things happen, all those things hit, clients give you approvals when you need them, there are no acts of God. There are no, preventing you from fulfilling them, like hurricanes, like we just experienced, or, something like that. But if you have a proven process and you know that if the process is allowed to be completed to its fulfillment in your way, that you should be able to provide a guarantee of some type. Your guarantee might also be that You guarantee that you will follow up with them in a timely fashion. It doesn't mean that the project is, going to get completed in 2 weeks. If you can't control that it gets completed in 2 weeks, but you can guarantee that everything that you can control, you can do to the best of your ability. So that's just one workaround. If you're a service-based business, think about the things that you can control and guarantee those.
We as you know, Jen, on guarantees, it took us a little bit of time to kind of embed that into our process. But now that we've kind of tuned in and gotten on board, it's something we do all the time. We have, a mastermind in coaching programs where we offer guarantees in those programs, and they're powerful because a lot of times people will say, "Hey, we'll sell you this thing. It's going to be great, but we don't offer a guarantee because there's too many complications." But because we stand by what we do and what the results we provide in our process and our system, we now know that we can give a superior guarantee to make sure that people are going to get the results when they follow the system.
Right.
It is baked right in there into the ingredients. If you if you use the ingredients to bake a cake and you follow the steps, you're going to bake a cake. It is going to be that simple.
Exactly. All right. So number 7, can you deliver your product or service with exceptional speed? This is a great way of being able to stand out amongst your competition and craft a USP or unique selling proposition. So let's think of some examples of products or services that are delivered with exceptional speed. The one that we're talking about right now as an overview is Domino's Pizza. Their guarantee and the backbone of all their marketing and the success of their company was that they delivered fast, fresh pizza in under 30 minutes or less, straight to your door, guaranteed. So if they showed up in 31 minutes or they showed up in 25 minutes and the pizza wasn't hot and fresh, then they would give you your money back. So that's a prime example of a product or service being delivered with exceptional speed. Can you think of any others, Kenny?
I like telling the story of my first experience with Jimmy John's. This is a few years back when Jimmy John's first launched, and I was, saw their interesting black and white and red sort of sign, cool kind of font. It looked different. Said, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to go in there. And got in there and saw, hey, it's a sandwich shop. Kind of looks like a Subway. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to order me a sub. And I ordered my sub, and I was going to they gave me a cup to go get my drink. And as I'm starting to walk to get my drink, they're like, here's your order. I said, what? No, I just ordered. They're like, no, this is yours. I'm like, but what? I was flabbergasted. Because, if you go to a Subway, you're going to stand in line, you're going to order something, then you go through this process of customizing your sandwich, and it can take several minutes. If you go to a Publix, it could take even longer. Oh my goodness, Publix, seriously. But Jimmy John's,
I like Publix subs the best.
I do love their subs, but they could learn something from some Jimmy John's speed. Mm-hmm. They've got that speed down to a science. They have multiple people working on one sandwich to get it done in an exceptional speed. It's freaky fast is what they say.
Yes.
And it certainly is. The first time I experienced it, I was like, holy smokes, this is a different thing. And it caught my attention. Yeah,
so that's what makes Jimmy John's different. But what makes Publix different, I think, is in, personally, I don't know if they say this, but my perception of it is that the quality of their ingredients is far superior and they have more ingredients. Jimmy John's is kind of a limited menu. All right, so I think we hit that one. Let's look in the theme of speed. Let's move on to number 8. What do people hate about business in your category that you have the power to fix? So what is it that drives people nuts when they say, you know what, all you marketing people are all the same? How do you have the power to fix that? Or I can't trust an attorney, or if I call my attorney for 5 seconds, he sends me an invoice for $500. It's just not right. All you attorneys are all the same. So what is it about the people, the businesses in your category that people hate that you have the power to fix? That can become a really powerful, unique selling proposition.
So I'll actually kind of tie this in with the last one. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is that speed that is an issue. Mm-hmm. Not to harp on any particular sub shop, but there are restaurants that I will not go into if I'm looking at my time and say, man, I only got like 20 minutes to get something to eat, and I got to be quick. And fast places will earn my business because of that. So that could be one thing. If you look at your competitors and there's a process that typically takes, hey, we're going to get your, and this worked for Geico, by the way, we're going to get your quote in, the next 3 days. You're going to take 3 business days. Geico comes around and says, hey, we're going to do this in 15 minutes or less. You can save, in 15 minutes, you can save 15% or less. Mm-hmm. So it could be the time. It could be having to do a deposit of some sort. It can be, the hassle of having to drive somewhere, and you could do a pickup service, or having to fill out a particular type of application online. If you could have someone call and kind of expedite that process. So if you know that there's something that people always just dislike about doing business in your industry, and everyone does it that way, to make it different, do something different that will remove that pain, and people will notice. They'll be like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. I'm so glad I did not have to do this. Such a pain to have to do this. You guys are great. And it's cool to give those experiences away too.
Right. Very good. All right. So here's an example of Sandals Resort offering a pricing advantage over their competition. And it wasn't necessarily a pricing advantage that it was cheaper, but man, has it been a powerful way for them to own the luxury vacation space. Do you want to expand on Sandals?
Well, pricing advantage, there's different ways you can do pricing. Sometimes we can get tunnel vision and we start, our pricing is this and this is what it is. Depending on what you sell, you may have more options or less options. It really depends. But one of the things that Sandals did is they have that one price, you pay one price, and then you're not having to pay continually for everything that you get. It's a really good deal for Sandals. They're selling a high dollar item, but it's also beneficial for the people who attend, because now they can go to their vacation. Everything's paid for. They don't have to worry about, should I get this, dessert, and worry about the cost, or how much money am I spending here on these drinks. And if you've ever been on a vacation, and I'm sure you have, where you're starting to spend more and more, then it could start taking away from the fun of the vacation, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, I've already spent a few $100s. I don't know, should I do this extra thing? I was going to do it, but I got to watch my budget. Sandals remove that with the pricing. You get everything paid for up front, and then you're just on vacation. You're just ready to have a good time. So could you do your pricing in a different way? Whether it's a subscription-based model, where, if people are typically charging in your industry, this large fee one time a year, could you turn it into a subscription model where they're doing it in smaller payments, which kind of takes that away? Or maybe they want the other. Maybe they want to do one large payment, get that out of the way so they don't have the ongoing monthly budgets. Giving some options can be very helpful.
Right. And lastly, I think is the last point, what kind of special experience can you offer your customers that is completely different from your competition?
Yeah, I like this one. We were doing a mastermind meeting, and we were talking about this, the experience. Experience really is part of your brand. And the experience people have with you is just like they would have with you in any other thing, whether it's your relationship or your business. Experience matters. You can have a good experience and create good feelings and get people to return and talk about your business, become an advocate, or you can create bad feelings. And you know what happens when you create bad feelings, right? People will tell the world. Or you can do something in between and just creating a ho-hum experience. Now, what happens in a ho-hum experience?
Nothing. Or they put a bad review about you.
It's like, meh. So if you can create an experience where when people do business with you, you automatically get their attention, and they notice and they see that you're different and they value it, and you have a good experience, the chances of them continuing to do business with you, doing repeat business, and being an advocate greatly increase.
One of the things that we do at Rock My Image for our coaching clients, I had one coaching client who she was great because she was really coachable. She was hitting her milestones. She was following the plan, and they were able to get an amazing result. So I wanted to reward her. And what I did was I created a gold record, and I had it framed, and I put their company logo on it and presented it to her for achieving rockstar professional status. And, you know, she was taking pictures with it and putting it on social media and all that stuff. So it's just, you know, just a really simple way of recognizing people, recognizing them, thanking them for their business in a unique way that can be just a simple way of creating an experience.
So this creating an experience can go all from the very beginning, when someone first knocks on your door, first gives you a phone call, first fills out a form or does a tag on social media, all the way down to when you're fulfilling the business and to after the business.
Right.
Creating an experience all the way through the process of doing business with you, and really paying attention to that can be such a differentiator and can definitely increase the amount of business that you get in repeat and referral.
Exactly. All right, so the 6 golden keys of magnetic marketing. Kenny, before we get into that, can you give us an overview of what the 6 golden keys of magnetic marketing are?
All right, so we're wrapping up this presentation, and hopefully you've taken a moment to actually think through and jot down some ideas for each of the 10 ways to create your USP. And right now we're going to do a quick rapid fire of the 6 golden keys of magnetic marketing. And basically, if you're following these keys and you're making sure that you're doing all of these things, you're going to increase the chances of your marketing success. So without further ado, the 6 golden keys of magnetic marketing.
Number 1, there will always be an offer. Man, creating an irresistible offer and giving people the opportunity to do business with you is so important. It's not enough in your marketing to just talk about your products and services, but not give people the how they buy, the how that they do business with you. So you always have to provide an offer so that people can move through that experience with you. Number 2, there will always be a reason to respond now. So part of making an offer irresistible is putting a time limit on it. And you can encourage people to take advantage of a special opportunity, like if you have a discount or if you have a one-time opportunity or limited seating at an event, that you need to always include a reason for them to respond now. Kenny, I'm just going to do a quick overview and then I'll let you come back through and chat. Number 3, there will always be clear instructions. Don't make it complicated for people to buy from you. Just make it really simple, and the simpler, the better. Number 4, there will always be tracking and measuring. If you're doing the type of marketing that is what I call spray and pray, where you're just putting a message out and hoping that it works, quit it. You should be doing magnetic marketing, because magnetic marketing is trackable and you can measure your results and see what's working. If something's not working, it doesn't mean it's, you know, the end of the world. Figure out what do we need to do to tweak that system and get it to the point where it will work. And if something is working, then how can you scale it up or replicate it into a different part of your business? Number 5, there will always be follow-up. A lot of times business owners think that in their marketing, their number 1 goal in life is to just get new leads. And you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're not focusing on converting those leads into business. So you should always have follow-up in your marketing to maximize your return on investment. And finally, the 6th golden rule of magnetic marketing, results rule. Kenny, share a little bit about results rule.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to be taking actions. You only have so much time of the day. You only have so much money to work with, a budget to market your message. So you need results. You can be doing a lot of different things, and there are a lot of different people out there telling you to do, hey, this is the new social media app you definitely need to do. Hey, you need to have your own podcast. Hey, you need to put out content. All these things could be tools and tactics that you can use to get results, but they all need to be producing results to some degree at the end of the day. If you are not doing something that's producing results, again, give it a shot. You want to make sure that you're giving a shot to get results. You can't just try one thing one time, say it didn't work. But if you have a campaign, have a strategy, execute it, track the results. If it's not working,